Hey, Tom. Look, I know you think that she was the one, but I don't.
You said that old me. Well, I said that.
You said old you. If someone asked you, what are we? Old you would say, we are whatever you think we are.
Yeah.
I don't think that is an efficient response to that question.
I was down bad, bro. Okay. So
What does down bad mean? Like, were you like in need of a relationship? Like you wanted a relationship?
Nah.
Or does down bad mean you wanted some ass?
Bro, weird. All right. Nah, I ain't gonna say it this time. No, down bad, it just means that I did not have enough confidence or enough self-respect to tell this person that I did not at that time want to actually be in a relationship because we're still getting to know each other.
Okay.
Me now, present Barry, if somebody goes, what are we? And it's like 3 dates in, I'm like, we're dating. And they're like, what does that mean? And it means, we're getting to know each other right now.
We go on dates on the regular. That's what that means.
Regular or irregular, you know what I'm saying?
Regular or irregular.
Just in case we got irregular dates. You get me?
I don't, but it's up to, I don't date, so it's up to you, bro. If that's what the life you living right now. Wait, you're not even living that life right now. You're in the panoramic.
I'm in the panoramic. You know what I'm saying? I was healing my soul, my mind. I was trying to heal my body, but I kind of went weird. A weird situation happened. You know what I'm saying? What does it say in the Bible? We stumble.
We fall down. So, do you think that you're more prepared to date now that you've gone through this 2020 experience?
Nah, not at all. Because right now, I'm a lot of things in my life are changing. Yeah. It'll be very emotionally irresponsible of me to start certain types of.
Okay, I got you.
Because let's say I'm planning on moving.
Yes. We all are.
I pick up a couple dates here and there. Mm-hmm. They go well. We're on day 2. She's like, what are we? I'm just like,
I'm leaving, bitch.
She wants me.
Why are women asking you on day 2 what you are?
Say that again, please.
Why are women asking you on day 2 or day 3 what you guys are?
You know what she wants.
And it's me, nigga. She wants me. I'm joking.
So when would you ask someone, what are we on a date? Like, how long would you have to be for that type of conversation to arise?
I don't know. However long we were talking, I guess.
You never had to ask me what we were because I was just like, this is what we are.
You should introduce yourself.
No, that is not true.
What do
because
you mean?
You didn't know what I wanted until I got mad that you weren't acting in the thing that I wanted. Yes.
Right, spicy.
Correct. That is correct.
Who are we speaking to?
Oh, I'm speaking to my lovely wife of almost 3 years, Malya Diambois. Should we start the intro and then introduce her after?
Hey.
So like
hey. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, everybody.
I'm Barry.
And I'm Sasha.
And who's the third person here?
Go ahead.
It's Malya.
Oh.
Can you cut that in?
Sure.
You know that sound?
Future Barry, please cut that in.
There you go. Future Barry, cut that in.
But yeah, welcome back, Skywalkers.
Indeed.
Of course, again, I am Barry.
And I'm Sasha, and this is the Skighline podcast where we believe in never underestimating the progress of a baby step.
It's the remix. This is the bonus Skighline podcast.
That's right.
Where we review movies and on occasion just post random conversations.
Indeed.
And who is our guest? Please introduce yourself in great detail.
Oh dear, I feel like I'm in class.
Stand up, please. What is the thing that you like?
I'm Malya, Sasha's wife, Barry's housemate, and younger sister. Because I adopted him as my older brother, not necessarily because we're blood related.
Yeah.
I go by Lou Bird on Instagram, and I'm also the person that drew their cover art.
Correct.
Shout out to the hands.
Talented wife, bro. Coming through. Animations, logos, everything, bro. Follow her on Instagram at LLUBIRD.
Yes.
Shout it out.
And I'm also the baby of the house.
Correct.
She's the youngster, but it doesn't feel like
And I've been the only woman in this house for 4 years.
Man.
she's the person that goes, this house is dirty.
Yeah.
Clean it.
Clean it, Negroes.
And I'm just like, yeah, she said clean it.
Clean it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, what did we watch, guys?
Oh, the movie we watched was 500 Days of Summer.
Of simping.
500 days.
Oh my God.
Of past. I'm gonna name this this episode "Why I Hate Summer." It's a detailed list of.
You actually hate summer, so that's hilarious.
Yeah.
You don't like summer.
You also hate people like summer.
So why do you think the episode should be named that? Like what makes that a truth?
What, 500 Days of Simping or Why I Hate Summer?
Why I Hate Summer.
For you or for me?
That's an interesting question. For you, personally. I don't know what you think. And for you, Malya.
Okay.
I actually don't have a lot of problems with summer.
Okay.
Contrary to the way that I felt about the movie itself.
Yeah, that's the fun part about the.
Yeah, my big issue is with Tom and the way that he interacted with someone like Summer, right? It's like...
I have an interjection.
Go ahead.
Do they know what movie we're talking about? Should we give a synopsis of the movie first?
Would you like to give the synopsis?
Very quickly.
Go ahead.
Basically, it's about this guy who's a hopeless romantic, and he meets a girl who's the opposite of a hopeless romantic, and he does everything he can to convince her that they're in a relationship, but he does not win, and in the end, she marries another man. I'm sorry.
After saying that she never wants to get married.
Yes, that is the movie.
So, like I said, I don't really have any problem with her because alright. This is what I realized about young people dating, like people in their 20s dating. People in their 30s dating, as a matter of fact. People dating, they will tell you up front, I have no intention of loving you. But they will also want things that normal people want from relationships. They want time, they want affection, they want connection, they want what's that word? Companionship. They want all those things. They just don't want the label, and they don't want the responsibility of loving you. They don't want those things, right?
Yeah.
Now, if that person was to not be honest with you and lead you on and make you believe like they wanted to love you when really they just wanted all those other stuff, I would have an issue with them.
That's the funny part, though, is that in the movie, she was very honest with him. He was choosing not to listen to her honesty.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't have an issue with her.
Exactly.
I have an issue with this guy. Let me tell you what happened in the movie, right? It was like, I have guns. I like to shoot at the gun range, right? I'm good at shooting at the gun range.
Yeah.
If a Navy SEAL comes up to me and goes, hey man, we're about to do this little, thing, me and my Navy SEAL friends. Would you like to come? I will say to him, I'll come and watch, but I'm not going to participate. And he'll be like, why? And I'll be like, because y'all are out of my league. Y'all are Navy SEALs. People, I have this firm belief that people know what is bad for them.
Yes.
If you don't know, then you're immature, and that's okay. But I have a firm belief that people know what is bad for them, but they see it and they're like, that thing that's bad for me, it's like chocolate or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It'll make me further away from my goals, but I'm still going to partake.
People like to relish in their toxicity.
Exactly. And it's like, this guy wants love. He wants love. She tells him very plainly, I do not want love. I think you're cute. and I like you, and I'm willing to fool around with you, but I do not want love. And he's like, that just means you'll want love later. And she's like, no, that's not what I said.
Yeah.
What I said was, I don't want love.
And go ahead.
I also think, because Sasha, you said that you don't necessarily have a problem with someone who lays their intentions out early and doesn't lead someone on. Mm-hmm. Even though she did that, I think his definition of certain actions in his mind did not connect with her definition of certain actions.
I agree.
So she said, hey, I don't believe in love. She also said, I like you. But because she doesn't want to be someone's girlfriend, she does not tie the I like you to I want to be your girlfriend. She also doesn't tie holding hands or having sex or going on dates to I want to be your girlfriend. And he's like, okay, I hear you, but you're doing all the things that I would do with my girlfriend.
I agree. And that's why I want to reiterate. Stop playing in. I will play basketball at the YMCA. Yeah. I'm not going to play basketball with LeBron James.
One of the most interesting things to me about her in general is they were explaining how they grew up, and they used this beautiful analogy about her hair, right? And they were just like, she has this dark, long, beautiful hair that took years to grow, and she kept it and maintained it. But they made sure to say she had no problems trimming it at any time, just buzzing her shit.
Off, yeah.
So it's like, should we take that as viewers as something a part of her, you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
of course.
She said there was a scene where she was explaining that dream to him, right?
Yeah.
She described everything that happened in the dream. And funny, like, she was explaining everything that happened in the dream, and at the end of the dream she said, no matter what happens, I end up alone.
Yeah.
This guy, after she said that, she said, I've never told it to anyone. And this guy was like, oh my goodness, she's in love with me. And me, I didn't hear anything else in the dream that she was describing except for the fact that at the end she said, no matter what happens, I end up alone.
Yeah.
It's like she's trying to give this fool hints. You're trying to get something from me that is not in me.
It's not even a hint, bro. The whole time, she was being extremely honest.
Exactly.
And he picked and chose exactly what he wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And he acted on the things that he wanted to hear. He had, what do they call it? Rose-tinted glasses?
During you don't see no red flags.
Exactly. How do you feel about it, Malya? Do you feel like, who do you feel like is in the more wrong in the circumstance? You know what I mean? Like, who is the villain of the movie?
Malya just rolled her eyes so hard.
I think both of them are bad for each other, and they were bad to themselves by interacting with each other. It's hard to say who's a villain and who's not, or who's more the villain. I think they both messed up because he was living in a delusion and not listening or even seeing the reality that was in front of him. And she was taking advantage of a guy who really liked her, and she knew he really liked her, and she was like, this is just a good opportunity for me to get some affection from someone that I don't want to love, even though I know he's a hopeless romantic and he will give me all of this because I know he's gonna love me. I'm sure of it.
I agree. That, in my opinion, that's an issue that a lot of people run into. So, like, there are times when you can take advantage of a situation because you're in a position to take advantage of it. And when you realize that you're in that position, you shouldn't take advantage of that situation.
Playing Jenga.
You see what I'm saying? And she did that. But it's just weird to me for an adult to hear another adult say very black and white, I don't even believe in love. That's what she said. She said love is not a real thing. And this idiot goes, I'm gonna prove to her that love is real. Like, what are you gonna hopeless get romantic. The Infinity Stones? Like, what are you know what I'm saying?
And that proves that hopeless romantics they live in a delusion, right? Because they're doing all these intimate things and like showering together, sleeping together, holding hands, small things, but
Having
very
childhood conversation.
Yeah, deep conversations, right? Mm-hmm. And in her brain, she's like, I do this with everybody that I date. Exactly. I could probably do this with my friends, right? He's just like, she wants me. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I think that scene is really important, because I feel like, so they had that conversation. She said, I don't believe in love. He said, I disagree. And then he went up to sing, and then they kept hanging out. Yeah. I think he was aware at that point, we're not on the same page. But he kept hanging out with her.
So is he not wrong for that?
Well, I'm not done with the statement.
Go ahead, baby.
So he was aware they weren't on the same page, right? Let's keep in mind that he is a hopeless romantic. He still hangs out with her after that because he's like, I like her. I can't deny that I like her. I can't stop showing that I like her. I want to be around her. At the end of that night, when she finds out that he likes her, she then says, you like me? And then he says, yes, of course I like you. And she says, but as friends. And then he agreed, yes, just as friends, which is another indication that he's like, okay, I understand I understand what's happening. I'm not going to get her. And then she says, just as friends? He had 2 opportunities of understanding, and she baited him in both opportunities.
I agree that is wrong. There's no way that is right. She manipulated what he felt for her so that she could get what she wanted out of that situation.
So then the conversation is, where does the responsibility fall, right? Does it fall on the person who is a little bit more meek, right? Does this meek individual, hopeless romantic, should he be more firm and tell her, yo, I don't accept to be led on. I don't accept this type of behavior. I don't like people toying with me, and I don't play with my love life. Is it his responsibility to say that to her?
Yes.
Or okay.
And I'm speaking as a hopeless romantic.
I think that is his responsibility to be aware of what you gotta know yourself.
Yes.
A lot of old Caribbean people say that all the time. You need to know yourself.
Know yourself. Know your worth.
Yeah, Drake is he's not Caribbean, bro. But
what do you mean?
He be trying.
Drake isn't Jamaican? Why you looking at me like that?
I'm gonna act like you didn't even say that, bro.
He made a comment. What's it called? Cell phone song. You know what cell phone song?
Bro,
comment on your cell phone.
Are you drinking my leg right now?
You done know it. He said that. That's a Drake line.
I'm just gonna put you right now, bro. Oh my god.
He said, "Pun your head top. More tunes for your head.
I want to punch you in the face, bro. Are you kidding me right now?
More tunes for your head top.
I don't even feel comfortable with you speaking in this dialect of
I'm sorry. I'm gonna cut that out.
This guy said pun your head top. No, you gotta leave that in.
The cough?
No, the pun your head top. You gotta
I'm definitely in.
Oh my
definitely
god. Oh my goodness.
Why wouldn't I? I'm telling the truth. Drake's Jamaican.
Yo, you know that meme of Arthur where he's making a fist? That's how I feel right now.
Do Jamaicans not like when I call Drake Jamaican?
I'm almost 100% positive that Jamaicans are livid right now listening to you call. They're mad at you for making this joke, but they're more mad at Drake for perpetuating the illusion.
What joke?
Yo.
He's the best. He's the best reggae artist out right now.
Somebody's gonna put a hit on you, bro. And you know Jamaicans don't use guns, bro. They're gonna cut you with a machete. It's gonna be over. You're gonna be chopped up in a black bag. Yo, you better chill, bro, for a bunch of people in Clark's come and hit you on the head with a machete, bro. Anyway, I can't even remember what my original thought was. Anyway, I said know yourself.
Yeah, my bad.
It's okay.
Tangents.
You gotta know yourself. So when he got into that situation, right? Just cut the conversation off. Don't even walk her to the cab, bro. He
was walking his drunk friend to the cab.
Yes, but when his friend was like, "Yo, he likes you," he could have said no to all those questions. Do you like me? No, because he playing dumb too. His His friend said he likes you, right?
But he's a hopeless romantic.
Bro, that's not an excuse when you're an adult. When you're 15, you can be a hopeless romantic.
I understand.
When you're 18, you can be a hopeless romantic. When you're dang near 30, you need to start being a smart romantic or a hopeful romantic.
Yeah, you can be a hopeful romantic. I'm not saying he couldn't have done all the things he said, right?
Yes.
But as a hopeless romantic, you cannot lie about your feelings. You can only ask the other person for honesty, because that's what I was talking about before. I wouldn't say to them, no, I don't like you, to protect myself from a situation that I knew would hurt me.
Yeah.
I would say, tell me you do not like me so that I will stop being hopeful.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, you say that, but is it fair for her to be almost obviously gray, right? She's like, do you like me? And I don't know, like, the funny thing is, during the next scene, after that conversation, she walks up to him at work and kisses him, right? She's operating in this gray area of, okay, I know that he likes me as more than a friend, but I'm going to say these things, you know, I'm going to speak my truth, but I'm going to behave in an exact opposition of my truth, right? So I feel like, man, it almost seems like 50% of it all kind of falls on her as well.
The thing is, she's not acting in opposition to her truth. She's acting in opposition to his reality.
There you go. That's what I was going to point out. I don't think she's operating in opposition to her truth. Here's the issue that I have with your statement where you say, I need you to be honest with me, right? Maya Angelou has this quote that she says, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
When someone tells you what they're about, you need to believe them. And what you said is being a hopeless romantic means you cannot lie about the way that you feel.
Yes.
That's not something that I'm going to deny, right? Because, you know, that might be true. That might be true for you, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the thing, though. When you're an adult, you can never put your feelings in the power in someone else's hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can never say, oh, if they were just straightforward with me or whatever, then I would have been able to maneuver this way or this way. No. You have perception. And the thing is, it's not like he's never seen this pattern before.
Well, you don't know that.
Yo, you're not a hopeless romantic at 30 and you've not been heartbroken.
That's possible.
It's possible. It's very, very seldom. And then also in the beginning of the movie, they were saying that because he was mad that he broke up with her, right? It happened before. She came in and she said, what happened this time? It happened.
Okay, yes.
You see what I'm saying?
You're right,
it happened before.
Yeah.
So this fool was just looking for what? The more perfect one.
Yeah.
And saying, oh, well, that last one didn't work out, but that's because it wasn't fate. So and he's setting himself to be hurt each and every time that he makes another assumption. He's basically saying, like, I had a friend in high school. Mm-hmm. This guy, for our final assignment for the year, it was like a 30-page certain amount of words that were needed or whatever, but it was like a 30-page character analysis for the book for Romeo and Juliet or something like that. We had to break down each character, what they meant to the story, background character, main character, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So I drank a Monster the night before, and I turned in this thick, I did like 46 pages or something like that. Turned it in. It was all in the correct format. Great, whatever. I got an A on it. I passed my final, and I passed the class. This guy comes in, and I'm not exaggerating. He cuts up a construction paper into like 2-inch by 2-inch squares. Mm-hmm. And not types, hand writes the character analysis on these little construction papers, right?
Yeah.
Then he punches a hole in all of them and puts them on a big key ring and turns that in.
Okay.
The teacher takes it from him and says, this is your final project. Is this what you are deciding to turn in?
Yeah.
So she has a stack of basically small books that we all turned in. She has a stack from 20 other kids on her desk.
Yeah.
And this kid turns in a key ring with cardboard pieces and handwritten, basically chicken scratch on each of the cardboard pieces, right?
Yeah.
He says yes. And she says, I've graded this already. And she throws it in the trash. And when he's after that class, I speak to him. I'm like, yo, bro, why didn't you just do the assignment? And he goes, my mom has these dreams, and every time she dreams stuff, it comes to life. And every time I dream that I'm rich. He's not rich right now. Just to say the least, right? So this guy...
Yo, shout out to that guy, bro.
This guy in the movie is like, I keep having this dream that one day I'm going to meet the right girl and everything's going to work out. Mm-hmm. And he keeps taking these nasty L's. And he meets someone that serves him up a softball, underhand, slow pitch.
Yeah.
And says, I don't believe in love. And you telling me that this guy takes that information and processes it through his adult brain, and on the other side of that process, he goes, this is my wife to be?
But
like,
he had to learn a hard lesson, and he hasn't learned that lesson yet.
Yeah.
Also, your friend did too, right? Mm-hmm. People do this thing, right? And it can go two ways, right? We can talk about how the movie went, right? And we can talk about God and God-fearing people. And we can talk about, I guess, humans who don't have any type of religion, but this kind of going through life, right? Faith is a concept that takes action. It almost does not exist because of the actions that you have to partake in to get to a certain place in life. And if you go to the God route with the God-fearing people, you still have to work on the things that are almost being given to you, right? You have to, you basically have to try, right? At least, that's the way that I'm understanding everything, all the information that I get in life. He is somebody that literally thought that things just fall in your life or fall in your lap, and life just gives you these things, and you walk into certain circumstances and things are unfair. And I think what actually is reflecting that is him working at the place that he's working. Yeah. Because he wants to be an architect, right?
Yeah, and he's working at a greeting card place.
And she asks him, like, why aren't you trying? And he's just like, I don't know, man. But it's like, bro, nothing will happen for you at all. You're not going to get a call one day like, man, I saw your drawings down, like, I found a scrapbook with your name on it and your number in the garbage next to a pizza from like 3rd Street. And I decided to give you a call because I was amazed. Yeah. That never happens.
No. You got to go out there.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, Malya, about what I said in regards to just I think personally that he's grasping at straws. And I really used to be a hopeless romantic. I did. And the lesson that I learned was the L's that you take in life from other people that you're trying to be in a relationship with are usually because you refuse to see the signs that they're giving you.
Yes, I'm not.
The signs.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I refuse to pay attention to this sign.
Yes.
And I think he did that like at least 5 to 10
the whole movie. The whole movie.
But go ahead.
My stance on this, I think, is very not necessarily complex, but it's double-sided because I've been her and I am him. So it's like.
But go ahead.
She was him, right?
Yeah, I was him.
There you go.
I've been both of them at one point. I'm not hopeless anymore because I am married. But in her case, she did things that misled someone she knew believed in love. They weren't on the same page in the beginning, and she did things that I believe she knew would add fuel to his fire, right?
I can agree with that.
But on his end, The hopeless part in it is that he was gonna fall anyway. He had every I've been in that situation. Someone can tell you something, someone can even do something that can show you, I don't want what you want.
Yeah.
And I've been the person being told that. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I can't stop wanting and I can't stop hoping. It's impossible for me to stop. You're gonna have to hurt me 10 times before it gets to my head.
Here's the thing. Do you not think that that's like just a lack of self-respect even more than it's like a hopeless romantic thing?
It is a lack of self-respect. But I think that's just part of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, what would be the difference of those two things?
Yeah.
Because I feel like a hopeless romantic is somebody that wants to be in love and is seeking love, but also lacks self-respect.
I think he can be a hopeless romantic and have respect. Because I think the part that's like, at least for me, the part for me that is like hopeless romantic is like, you have like this daydream of what's going to happen when you meet this person and when you start getting close to this person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you play that on a reel in your brain nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But the part that is no self-respect is when the reality doesn't play out like the real.
Yeah.
You don't stop playing the real and say, I got to get out of this because this thing that I thought that it was
mm-hmm.
not.
And they brought that up in the movie.
Yeah, they had the expectation versus reality.
Yeah.
So at that point, when he saw that she was engaged to be married, right?
Yeah.
He got upset, but if she would have came back to him, he would have went back to her again.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's not being a helpless romantic. That's being a helpless individual. You have no self-respect.
Yeah.
So it's like if he put it like this, right? Let's say he loved lions.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to the zoo and he said, I love lions.
Yeah.
And somehow he convinced the zookeeper to let him in the pen with the lions. How long would it take him being in the pen with them lions to realize that just because he loved the lions don't mean that he need to be inside of the pen with them?
Sasha.
No, wait. No. Look at this though, right? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I wasn't doing my thought, but go ahead.
Think about the Tiger King.
Okay, well, that's different though.
How is that different?
I'm gonna tell you why that's different. The Tiger King was making millions of dollars by having these tigers. That's the difference.
The love, as delusional as the person thinks it is the currency though.
And I have another question, right? I have another question for you guys. He had his reality, mm-hmm. and he had the what was the other expectations, right? So in the expectations, he had the audacity to even want to go back with her, right? Because I think the audience doesn't know that there was time they were broken up. He saw her on a train
for 100 days.
For 100 days, and he saw her on a train heading to like an event, some type of work event, right? Why would he want to go back with her, knowing that he is at this moment, at this state in time, broken by her?
Correct.
And why does it affect him that she's engaged? Right?
Well, I think about breakup sex. Why do you have sex with someone you're broken up with?
Because you have physical chemistry with that person. Not because you care about that person all the time.
But you have resentment.
Sometimes it is because you care about that person, and it's the physical chemistry, and it's the resentment. You want to get back at them. You want to be with them. You want them to miss you. It's all of that.
I can agree with that. But they were never dating. And they were never dating.
That's cap, bro. That's so much cap.
Bro,
that's so cap.
He was like, we need to put a label on this relationship.
Yeah.
This fool got jumped at a bar. Not jumped, but he got beat up at a bar.
I would tell people I got jumped because it
looked like he got jumped. He got beat up at a bar. First, he got beat up by a dude wearing a suit.
Yeah.
This is dude, the transporter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, you get beat up by a dude wearing a suit. And when you get home, the woman that you fought for, the woman that you took punches for, is mad.
Yeah.
Because she said, I did not need your help.
Yeah.
And then he says, what are we? And she says, we're just friends. To which he responds with, no, because we don't do things that friends do. And then he says,
You don't only have a say in
and then he
this.
says, I should have a say in whether or not you like me.
And we're a couple.
That sounds like some delusional stuff. You're not dating. If I ask you out and you say no, are we dating?
I have a question.
Yeah,
right.
Go ahead.
I have another question. I like asking you guys questions because I think it drops things along. But my question is, after seeing all the days prior to that incident, right? They were having a lot of sex.
Yeah.
They were being very intimate, having a lot of conversations. She was driving his dreams. She was poking at his brain about why he's not achieving a lot of the goals in life.
Yeah.
He was trying to learn about her, right? Barely, though. That's another thing that's interesting. All these things are happening. All these dates are happening. All these events in our lives are happening. Let's fast forward 100 days, and this incident happens.
Yeah.
And what is dating?
What incident, when you say after 100 days, what incident happened?
The incident of him fighting.
No,
him fighting for
fighting.
her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When are people couples at that point? Or
When they decide to be couples.
That's the thing.
but even prior to that, though, because it's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Even prior to that, when are they dating? Like it's a very strange gray area.
Dating has two definitions.
Yes.
Dating, number one, is, we go on dates, or we're dating and I'm also dating other people, or, you know what I'm saying, we're going on dates. I'm getting to know other people and I'm getting to know this person.
Yeah.
And then the other definition of dating is I've asked you out and we are exclusively dating. But we use the same terminology for both, right?
Yeah.
For me to exclusively date Malya, right? And I'm going to tell you how this is proved. She was like, she wanted me to date her. So in her mind, we're already dating. I just haven't asked her yet.
No.
We
were not dating until you asked me.
Okay, then we're on the same page.
Okay.
We're on the same page. In my mind, we're not dating until I ask you out. Period. Because other than that, right?
Yeah.
When you are I keep saying this.
Yeah.
When you are an adult, we do not have any more time for adult games. This whole podcast is about self-development.
Yeah.
Because you need to know yourself. And if you're like in your late 20s, mid-late 20s or whatever,
yeah,
I'll give you a pass at 21. You don't know nothing.
Yeah.
But when you're in your mid to late 20s and you're still having issues that people are having at 18, that's when you need to take a look in the mirror and turn it on you and go, what is happening? And thank God he did that at the end of the movie, right? Or near the end of the movie, he started to get his stuff together until they had that last conversation.
He had an ego death for no reason, but that's not here nor there.
They had that last conversation and he realized, oh my gosh, there's nothing I could have done in my life to get with this woman. Because she told him, one morning, I woke up and I knew, because she's married now.
She said, I was sure about him about things I was not sure about.
Exactly. I felt about him in a way that I never felt about you. And basically what that means is, I never felt this way about you.
Yeah.
I will never feel this way about you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that you can do about it.
Or could have done.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
There's not an amount of wealth that you could have acquired. There's nothing you could have done. I don't feel this way about you.
This movie should have been called How Not to Take an L.
And that's why, even though she might have done things that were like manipulative, I agree with you that she did certain things that were manipulative because she wanted to get her little, you know what I'm saying? She wanted to get some. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to get some. And the thing is,
little sneaky link, you know what I'm saying?
She wanted us, exactly. But it wasn't even sneaky.
No,
she was just like, this is my friend, we have sex.
Yeah.
And you know what's the genius part about the movie?
What is that?
That movie would have lasted 20 minutes if it was the dude doing what she did and the girl doing what he did.
Or if he would have listened to his sister, or if he would have listened to his friends.
Exactly. But the thing is, though, in movies where, like, the woman is the hopeless romantic, she has a friend that sees the real deal and tells her.
Yeah.
every movie where the roles are switched from man to woman, you end up getting there have to be more elements to the story for the movie to actually be long. Like he has to be kind of showing interest. He'll go to your mother's funeral, or a lot of movies they build the story by having the guy know you your whole life, so he's like a friend of your family.
Yeah,
he's not just your friend.
What is it? The Notebook, memory loss and stuff like that. Yeah.
He's not just your friend; he's a friend of your family. They have to put more context when it's a guy in her shoes and a woman in his shoes, right? But this movie, they did not know each other from Adam.
Yeah.
They met at work.
Yeah.
For Pete's Dragon.
Yeah.
They met at work, and somehow, even after she said, "I don't believe in love," he was already so invested in the first 2 weeks that they knew each other.
Yeah.
To say that this is going to be my wife, that does not. Only a human that has not acquired the necessary skills to survive Earth thinks like that. And that's why it's like, I hold her accountable for being manipulative. I hold her accountable for leading him on. I hold him accountable for letting all of that happen to him.
Yeah, and I'm not...
Because the guy laid down like melted cheese.
I'm not saying I disagree. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I disagree with that. I'm saying I see both sides, right? And not as in I see both sides, I see where he's right, I see where she's right. I'm saying I see where she's wrong and I see where he's wrong.
Yeah.
So, like, I know he's delusional and I can see it from his side because I was also once super delusional. And delusion cannot be broken by saying, hey, stop that. This isn't real. You literally have to shatter it.
It makes me think about a lot of movies that are very similar and a lot of things in life that are very similar to this. Like all the similar circumstances, basically. Yeah. I think about Scott Pilgrim. I think about Ramona and Knives. Yes. And I think about Ramona being looked at as the villain, especially early in my life when I first watched the movie. I was like, yo, she's being very manipulative. She has all these exes, all this crazy, this crazy past where things... 15. Yeah, and it's like this, all this stuff is happening. As I get older, and as I watch the movie my 48 times that I've watched it, yo, Scott's the villain. Yeah. Because he's not only is he not healed from his past, not only is he insecure, not only is he dating women, and I'm gonna say girls here because he's dating somebody that's still in high school at the age like 22, which is like deplorable. But he's also he dropped her so fast as soon as he found somebody that was like piqued his interest. He was enamored. All of that is terrible. He should not have been dating. So
didn't he also fight for her?
He did fight for her.
He fought for the girl that he wanted. He did not fight for the girl that he dropped.
Yeah, and she showed up for him.
That she is the guy in this movie we're talking about.
You think
Knives?
Yeah.
Is Tom?
No.
I think that Knives is Tom.
I think that Tom is Scott.
Yeah.
Because
Tom is Scott and
go ahead.
What's her face? Ramona?
Yes.
Ramona is Summer.
You got to break that down to me.
I think that Tom is Scott because Scott is doing a lot of things, and I think it comes from the masculine side of things. Yeah. That's why the movie lasted so long. If because a male was in that role rather than a woman, and it's because he is doing things like ignoring signs. He is doing things like being insecure. You know what I'm saying? He was not prepared to date. He was enamored. He was not using his intelligence. He was not focusing on himself in life. He was leaving a lot up to fate. How do you think that relates to Knives? Knives was a naive girl, right? Knives was someone who, she was essentially a romantic, right? She kind of really liked Scott, right? She was just like, I'm gonna fight for this guy. I really like this guy. But she did nothing negative in this whole thing.
I agree. I think the correlation that I made between the two of them was that they don't have self-respect.
Scott doesn't either.
I agree. I do agree with you that Scott doesn't have self-respect. I wasn't thinking at that time about Scott at all.
Yeah.
That was just the place that I was coming.
Yeah, I understand.
I think that you're right, though. Mm-hmm. Your correlation between Tom and Scott is more accurate than my correlation between Tom and Scott because, my correlation between Knives and Tom.
Yeah.
Because Scott checks off more boxes that Tom has than Knives does. Knives was actually taken advantage of because Scott never actually told her, I don't like you.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes. She was naive.
If we go back to 500 Days of Summer, though,
mm-hmm.
Summer said, I like you, but I do not believe in what you believe in.
And he said, meh.
That's the part that I don't know. Maybe it's just difficult for me because of the person that I've become over time. No one will be able to tell me something that opposes the thing that I'm looking for in a mate. Like if I was single and I was looking for something in a mate, and I tell you this all the time, we are married because the boxes that I needed to be checked, you check them. And I'm not saying checked as in past tense. You continue to check them. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily think that I have impossible standards to reach, but I have high standards. And it's not anything to do with looks or anything like that. I just need someone that is going to meet me where I meet people. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? I need someone that's going to reciprocate what I give. And for some reason, a lot of times, that's too big of a box for people to check.
Yeah.
Malya checks that box for me every single day. And if we don't check that box for each other for whatever reason, we communicate about it, and then we go back to checking that box for each other. Mm-hmm. If I was single right now, and I wasn't being like a thought, because usually when I'm single, I'm a thought until I want to be serious. Mm-hmm. But if I was actually trying to date someone, and I said, all right, this is the way that I view reciprocity. Yeah. And that person said, I don't even believe in reciprocity. Mm-hmm. I would probably never talk to that person romantically again. I probably wouldn't talk to that person for like 6 months until they hit me up again.
Yeah. That's because you're not delusional.
No, that's because I have self-respect. I think self-respect is the glass. It's when self-respect allows you to take off the rose-colored glasses, mm-hmm. no matter how deeply you feel for the person.
But the rose-colored glasses are the delusion.
Okay, I can agree with that. Mm-hmm. But when you have self-respect, right? Red flags, no matter who it is, mm-hmm. they come up as red flags. Yeah. You know? And I think as we progress through life, it is our job to look inward at ourselves and go, all right, I'm not good at this thing. Yeah. I know I need this thing. This person that I care about, that I'm enamored with, mm-hmm. does not have these things that I need them to give me. I respect myself enough to say, maybe it could be something, mm-hmm. but likely it's not, and I'm not going to even try if I know that it's more likely that it's not going to be anything.
That's something that takes walk away. That's something that takes a lot of practice, right?
For people that are delusional. Yeah, because you're acting like being delusional is something that
can be controlled.
You choose. You know?
Yeah.
It's a personality trait.
No one wants their reality to not be their reality.
Yeah.
Or
their dream.
You know? Exactly.
Reality, yeah.
And even though all of us should be able to take off those rose-colored glasses because we have self-respect, or should have, not all of us have built our self-respect yet. And that is why I had the issues I had growing up.
Yeah.
I would see someone and I would say to myself, I love this person, or I can love this person. And even if they did not love me, I could not lie to myself.
Yeah.
And because I couldn't lie about my feelings, my brain was like, in order to cope with this difficulty, you're going to latch on to every good thing they give you so that what your truth is doesn't completely crush you.
And it takes a lot of practice. I'm speaking from kind of the male perspective of where she's coming from, as somebody that is not just introverted, as somebody that has a bit of melancholy. Got you. As somebody has a bit of like melancholy, introverted, low self-esteem issues growing up, it is extremely difficult to develop self-respect. I had to do that from going through the things that he's went through, right? Not at a lot younger age, not nearly as severe, but it's just that like when you're met with somebody that is, like playing on that part of you, it's a difficult thing, bro. It's like you can't see the red flags at all, like you said.
Yeah.
But it's not even something that you can work on at that time, in that moment. It's a hindsight thing. You have to go, yo, this person did all of these things. And that's why I felt like his sister was such an important character, because she told him to do an important activity. She said, look back at your story with this woman and try to view it objectively instead of viewing it like you're viewing it. He was looking at like all the good in it. There was tons of things he ignored. This woman looked in his eyes and said, hey, I do not like you. And he said, yet. You know what I'm saying? Like it is you have to like go through these things to develop as a person.
And I think some people are just unlucky enough to come across someone who is just selfish enough to be that person that's like, you're going to keep these rose-colored glasses on because I'm getting this from you.
I agree. That's like my worst nightmare for my children. I was a hopeless romantic when I was in like...
I just want to say I don't believe you.
One day we're going to get my best friend Giovanni on this, and you're going to be able to talk to him because funny enough, I dated my best friend's first cousin when I was in high school. So I'm dating this guy's cousin, and I'm like, bro, I'm going to marry your cousin. I was like 14. Mind you, the first girl that I dated, when I was in 7th grade, she was in 8th grade, and that's when I found out, okay, I like this girl, right? I did everything to get this girl's attention for like a year, even into 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
And she just kept rejecting me. Like, no, whatever, no. I wanted to go to this banquet with her. She was like, I'm not going to go to this banquet with a middle schooler. That's stupid. No. Fast forward, following year, 9th grade, got my growth spurt, lost all my baby fat. Like I said, on the previous episode where I worked worked my butt off.
Yeah, man. Bruce Wayne activities.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne activities. And then basically I came back. She was like, whoa, you look a lot different. You know what I'm saying? I looked more like a man than a kid. Yeah. And then we started dating. We dated for like a year and a half. And I was like, bro, like this is going good. My first relationship lasted a year and a half. You know why? Because I was a weird kid. And I used to read only relationship books. And I'm not talking about like relationship books that are just like, oh, these persons meet these people and then they get together. And I'm not talking about like a romance novel. I'm talking about like a scientific approach to relationships written by people that are like married.
But we have to talk about that one day because that is so interesting.
Like, bro, you were such a weird kid. We were so worried. Like, what the heck was going to happen to you? That's all I did. So even at that young age, people would talk to me about like relationships, and I was like, well, I understand this, and this, and this, and this. And they'd be like, how did you get that? And I was like, well, you're not talking to a 15-year-old, you're talking to someone that is educated themselves, but I didn't get the education from 15-year-olds. I got it from people who wrote books. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're a married couple writing a relationship about a book, I mean a book about relationships, you got to be really good at relationships, or else no one's gonna buy the book.
So you dated this girl?
Yeah, I dated this girl. I was doing everything I could. I got this, crappy job, saved up all my money, bought her as many gifts as I could afford or whatever. I did everything. And then, basically, we did not see eye to eye on what real love was.
At what age?
At 15 and 16. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, man, I'm so surprised.
So I'm just like, I love you this much. And she's like, I don't think I can meet you there.
That's fair.
Which is a fair thing for a 16-year-old to say. But I was devastated.
But were you delusional after she said that?
No, but I was delusional the whole relationship before that because she didn't just say that. You see what I'm saying?
How serious did you think the relationship?
I thought we were going to get married. I keep saying I thought we were going to get married. I'm not kidding. Then,
you drank the Kool-Aid, huh?
Exactly. So then my rebound relationship to that, it was like, it was a relationship that was completely opposite, where the person was enamored with me.
Yeah.
But it got overwhelming.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, I don't want that. Then I just kind of stayed single. I would like talk to some people and then not talk to some people. But I skipped a very important part. I was depressed for like 6 months after I got out of that first relationship.
Okay, so who do you think you are in this situation?
I was definitely Tom.
How are you, Tom?
I was always like chasing and not paying attention to the very clear communications. Like, you're moving faster than I'm moving.
Yeah.
So fast forward, I think I learned my lesson. I get to college, I meet someone or whatever.
Yeah.
We start dating. The relationship quickly follows the same pattern that all my other relationships followed. Where I'm trying to move very quickly, and this person's like, slow down.
Well, why were you trying to move so quickly?
Because I was a hopeless romantic. I had no self-respect. I was a rake of an individual.
We gotta talk about that too.
We gotta talk about like different types of seducers.
Yeah.
So I was a rake. So whatever I thought you needed, I would just get it for you, even if you didn't ask. So then after that relationship ended, right?
Yeah. That's
when I learned that hard lesson. The difference between me and Tom, though, is I was 22.
Yeah.
So, but after I learned that lesson, the thing that I acquired that I'm most grateful for was that instead of me trying to pull someone to catch up to my speed, I realized, oh, wait, I'm a lot more valuable than I give myself credit for.
Yeah.
And once I was able to realize how valuable I was, that's when it was a lot easier for me to just be like, bro, I don't care what you have to offer if you're not offering what I need.
Yeah.
And it was easy for me to just be like, yo, peace.
I think we both learned self-respect at the exact same time.
I agree. 100%.
How did you learn it, Malya? Like,
Wasn't it me?
What is your story? Like, what is your story?
Oh man!
Like, who are you in this movie? Who do you relate to the most?
I am both of them. Okay, most I relate to Tom. In my most toxic state towards other people, I'm what's her name? Summer.
Yeah.
But that was only towards people I didn't really like.
Same.
So
I was worse than Summer though.
in my story. There are many different stories in this, but I loved this person when I was like 17 until I was 19. That whole time they did not love me back, even though they would act like they did. They would act like they did, and then in the same breath say, "You're my best friend," and then talk to me about other girls that they were really interested in.
Do I know this person?
Yes, you do. And
that toxic, man, toxic.
Sasha, stop. And I was just like, I love this person so much that I don't care if I'm just their best friend. I'm going to be the best friend they've ever had. But really, it just led me down a very unhappy. It led me to a very unhappy place, and I was like, I can't live like this anymore because I'm giving this person everything and they're not giving me anything. And then I met so and so, who
say their name. No, I'm joking.
I should not say his name on here. But he was my ex before Sasha, and it was another person. Actually, I started off with this person not really liking them. I was like Summer, and I was like, you know what? I haven't really had fun with anyone in a while. He's interesting, whatever. And I ended up really liking him. It took him a year to admit that he liked me. And then in the relationship, I was emotionally abused. And I didn't respect myself enough to be like, I don't deserve this. I thought this person is so broken that they need me to be the light in their life. I need to prove to them that people won't hurt them.
That process hurts my so hard. Man.
And Tom was emotionally abusive as well. And
oh yeah,
they showed that in the movie, and I think they should actually touch on that more. Especially, I guess I'm saying that because of the type of podcast that we have. But saying things like, I gotta say in this too, we're together still. That's like, that's crazy, bro.
That's that incel behavior.
Yeah, that is the incel behavior. But continue with your story. How are you?
incel behavior is pick me nigga. Is a pick me boy.
Yeah. But continue with your story. How are you like, what's her name? Summer? Yeah, Summer.
How am I like Summer?
Yeah, describe it.
Well, how'd you get to self-respect?
Well, she compared herself.
Yeah, there was some summer activity in between there, like in college, in my in-between time, simping after these boys that I really liked. I would find other guys that liked me and be like, why are you laughing?
It is funny.
Because you say simping, it's just like...
I was simping after these boys that I like.
I was. In between that, I would be around other guys that liked me, and I'd be like, oh, interesting. So I would get them to skip class with me, and then we would walk around campus doing nothing because I didn't want to be in class, but I also didn't want to be alone, and I liked the attention they were giving me. And I would get guys that liked me to drive me to get food and such and such. And even though I was not sexually active at that time, I still believe that was summer behavior because it was manipulative and bad and toxic on my part towards those people because I knew I would never like them.
We should call this hot
girl summer. Yeah, I was thinking that. We are right there.
But then I met Sasha.
Thank God you wasn't having sex, bro.
You'd have been a monster.
You would have been a demon, bro.
Yeah, it would have
been bad. But then I met Sasha, and I was like, I turned back into the rake of a person that I am. And I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to love this person. And then we had a weird situation between us. But that was the very first time that I was like, I'm not budging here. I love you so much, but I'm not budging here. Yeah. You know?
I was acting wild. And Malya sat me down after I was acting all wild. And she was like, I heard what you were doing behind my back. And I was like, word. And she says, you made me feel like ripping my nails out of my fingers. And I was like, that's frightening.
Living with two crazy people.
Bro. Then like one.
Well, three? Myself?
One. You crazy.
I mean, all right.
Nah, ain't no way around it. You have a stick right there with a handle that's roughly carved out. You call it your beating stick?
Don't worry about what I do. What you talking about?
See, I know you were crazy when you did that because you carved it with like a pocket knife. So I know you was on some Bear Grylls.
Hey, man, what's in my room stays in my room. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, but she said, I will not let myself feel less than anymore because someone doesn't appreciate who I am, basically.
And what did she have when she said that?
She had a gangster tear in her eye.
No, I didn't.
She had self-respect.
I didn't.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't cry, though. I was
cry?
very serious. No. Remember, I found out and I told you to come to campus.
Oh,
and we sat in the car on campus and I was like, I'm not speaking to you anymore.
She spoke to me like she was handing out a pink slip after a business meeting where somebody went irate. She was like, this is not happening anymore.
You got fired.
Pack your thing.
What's so interesting about that is the romantic in me didn't leave even though I had self-respect, which goes back to what you were talking about, how you can have both, right?
Yes.
I said, I cannot speak to you anymore. And that whole week I was like, I hope to God this man texts me or something. Yeah. And you did. And even after you texted me, I still had very set boundaries that I was not breaking.
Agreed.
You were a hopeful romantic at that point, like you stated.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Because you had self-respect. You said, I don't deserve to be treated like this, and I won't stand for it. And it forced him to put in the work to kind of get back on your good side and good graces. And I think that's important to develop as a person.
But also, she had to get back on my good side as well.
Yeah, we didn't bring up that part.
Yeah. It was like a two-way thing.
Because I messed up this in the summer.
And I wasn't letting it go.
When I came back, when I came back to school and you brought me here, I was like, I have to make it up to this man because he isn't telling me, but I know he's upset.
And I was like, F this food.
This bro, I live with this guy, bro. That whole summer, I saw him like once a day.
Real hot boy.
I seen him maybe sleep and possibly eat one meal, and the meal was not enough, and he would either be working or working. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing else he was doing. I was like, bro, is that the clothes you had on yesterday? He was like, been working for 27 hours. And I was like, what are you going to do now? And he said, I'm going to sleep for an hour. Then I'm going to wake up. Then I'm going to meet so-and-so and so-and-so and then so-and-so and then work and then meet so-and-so. And I was like, I'm gonna go play with Destiny.
My homeboy said I was either making bread or getting head.
And the thing is, in the summer, I was acting out of fear, and when I came back to school, you were acting out of spite.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yo, when you're hurt, bro, you turn into the villain.
I always tell people this. I'm such a nice person. I'm such a happy person. My biggest problem in my life, and it's not a problem that I get to see often because people don't really... You've seen this. It takes a lot for people to make me angry. Because I get angry immediately. I don't let stuff fester. I get angry immediately.
So doesn't that mean it takes a little?
No. So basically it's like somebody does something. Let's say somebody does something to me. I have a scale of like 1 to 100. If they do something to me that's like on a 10... I'll respond immediately at a 10.
I see.
There are other people that they're like, somebody has to do 10 things to them at a 10, and then they respond to that person at 100. That's like an explosive personality.
Okay, keep going.
I don't have that. You put me in a rare predicament where there was no response that I could have. I couldn't have a response. I was angry, but everything that I was trying to get through to you just didn't work. I was basically, like, when you said, okay, I need some time to myself, right? When my birthday passed during that time, and I like basically I was writing my thoughts out each day about the fact that you weren't talking to me.
Yes.
And sending them to her.
Yes.
So Malya would get these long letters of basically what I was thinking of, like my thought process for that day, like just as a synopsis of what I was thinking of what it was like to not talk to her, right? My birthday passed. I sent her one on my birthday. She didn't even send me happy birthday. And then after that, I just stopped sending them. That was when I was just like, oh no, F this.
Yo, what?
You see what I'm saying?
This is so much, bro. Like, what was y'all on?
So that's the thing, right?
I was scared.
Yeah, she was scared, and I knew what I wanted, but fear is the opposite of love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You cannot be vulnerable and fearful at the same time. A lot of people think that hate is the opposite of fear, but there's more love and hate than there is fear.
Love. He said fear. Yeah, man. Hate isn't the opposite of love because it takes a lot of love for someone to develop hate.
That's what I'm saying.
But fear, yeah.
There's a lot more love and hate than there is in fear. So at that time, she put me in a situation where my anger got a chance to fester.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when my anger festers, I don't get mad like my mom.
Yeah.
My mom is a very simple... That's usually who I am. Usually, I get mad like my mom. It's like 2 + 2 = 4. It's a very in and out. Like inverse and opposite. You know, inverse and opposite.
And that reminds me of the conversation that Tom was having with Summer on that bench.
Yeah.
Because not only did he have time away from her, his anger started to kind of fester. So they had this conversation where she came to a lot of realizations in her life and she was at peace.
Yeah.
She was smiling in his face, explaining to him exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I would critique on her end is that she didn't apologize for hurting him, because I do think when somebody is hurt, you should apologize for hurting them.
Not for what you did.
Not for what you did, or not for being perceived as wrong or right.
Instead of justifying, oh, well, I did that.
There's no justification for somebody being upset.
Yeah.
Even if you did not mean to upset them, or you don't know what you did to upset them, if they are upset, apologize. Say, I'm sorry that I upset you. What did I do? How can I make it better?
Yeah.
After that, I guess beyond that, everything she did was correct, because she's healed. She's explaining to him why she's married at the time, and she's just like, yo, I thought I did not want love in my life, and I would never find actual love. And even when I was with you, I did not actually love you, basically. But I met this new man in my life who I'm currently married to, and he changed my mind about all of those things.
Yeah.
So now he has all this resentment, and he's just like, rah, 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 rah. Like why do you even, how are you married right now? Why are you even talking to me? Why'd you hold my hand?
Why wasn't it me?
Yeah, why wasn't it me? It's like, bro, life is so complicated, but I still think this, and I said it during the movie should have been called How Not to Take an L. When somebody does not like you or want to be with you, or they're treating you a certain way that you're not like vibing with, you have to go, okay.
Exact. That's, remember what I said in that situation, like why it's easy for me to thrive. Like a lot of women talk to me at the same time when I'm single usually. I have very...
Brag about it, why don't you? No, I'm joking.
No. I'm just saying, I'm not looking for a relationship.
Yeah.
So my expectations are low. Super low. I think people meet someone and they this is advice for anyone that does this. If you base your expectations for someone based on how much you like them, you're setting yourself up for failure.
That's what crushes are.
A lot of people do that. They're like, oh my goodness, I like this person a lot. And they think on their side, I can make this work. So it's going to work. I can make this work.
My love will prevail.
Yeah. It takes two.
Yeah.
Just because you like this person a lot doesn't mean that you can just, I'm going to be Michael Jordan and take this garbage team to the finals.
Yeah, but that's exactly what a crush is. That's why it's called a crush. You have this expectation. You built this person in your mind, and people do it when they have a lot of blanks in character. So a lot of times, a quiet person, if you have a crush on somebody that's quiet and introverted, you kind of fill in the blanks. You're just like, I bet they're like this, and I bet they're like that. And then you love that part of them. You love that weird depiction that you have of them. And then when they're just like, I'm like this, and I don't vibe with you, that's why you're devastated.
Or you crazy and you go, no, you are like this.
And that's why you have these things happen. That's why you have like the types of abuse and interactions that are very negative, that can be very dangerous, because people don't understand how to accept no's, or how to accept things not happening the way they want them to happen. And he could not accept things happening like the way they were happening. And that is not fair, particularly for women, because of how dangerous the situations can get so quickly. And that's why like a lot of these movies are a little bit more serious than like what they're leading on to be, because he got very upset in that one scene. Like I'm gonna bring it up again, in that one scene when he was just like, I have a say in this too, and I say that we're not ending this. That's not cool.
You also don't have a say in when someone says I don't like you, you just don't have a say in that.
You can't make somebody be with you, no matter how much you want them to.
Interjection.
Go ahead.
Why did she show up to this man's house after he said that?
She's toxic.
She's a goofy. I would have opened her. Hand her a towel.
It's like every time.
Hand her. She was wet.
Oh my goodness!
Like literally, bro.
I took that very.
I gotta cut this. It's like an hour in, no, bro.
You need to cut it.
It's like every time he tried to grasp reality, she was like, not just yet.
That's the part that I think she was wrong at. So the reason that I kept on harping on him in the beginning
Yeah.
is because the whole 500 days that followed that initial interaction could have been averted.
Yeah.
If he would have just said, this person is dangerous, I'm staying away.
Yeah. Because the same way she heard him say, I believe in love, and then baited him and couldn't have. Like, she didn't have to do that. Is the same way he heard her say, I don't believe in love, and he was like,
There you
he could have done that too.
Saying. Yeah. And when I'm realizing this, and this kind of hurts me in a lot of ways because a lot of people don't view things like this. I am the type of person that looks for where an issue could have been avoided at its earliest stage.
Same.
And when I find whatever the earliest stage is, that is the place that I make my primary judgment on what needs to be done moving forward.
Mm-hmm. That's what makes the ending so beautiful.
Yes.
Because he basically he gets his life together. He starts to work on himself, even during the conversation that he had at the close to the ending with her at the bench where she's basically married. Yeah. He's been working on himself. He's finding new jobs, going to interviews, and trying to become an architect, trying to live his dreams out. And he comes across a woman, and funny enough, her name is Autumn. But you know how things, his movies, niggas be writing and stuff. But her name is Autumn, and instead of leaving it up to fate or essentially, it's funny enough, in that whole relationship he had with Summer, he let her have the driver's seat the entire time. Mm-hmm. She controlled everything. And you see in this scene with this woman named Autumn that they're having this banter during the interviewing process or prior to it. And then he's like, I'm not going to leave this up to chance. I want to kind of try and put my foot out there and make attempts to do certain things. And he goes, yo, you want to get coffee? And then she says, I'm busy.
I planned already with somebody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he goes, okay, cool, whatever, see ya. And then she says, wait, no, let's try.
Yeah.
He took that L. It's the first time in the entire movie that he took an L, and he was like, cool.
And the funny thing is, Summer was telling him at the end of the movie that he was right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was like, fate doesn't exist. Right?
They swapped opinions.
And Summer goes, I was at a coffee shop reading a book, and this guy came up to me and asked me about the book, and now he's my husband.
Yeah.
She was like, I could have went to the movies. I could have done anything else. But he was there, and I was there, and he came and interacted with me, and that's how we got to where we are now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, obviously something has to be there, that's similar to fate.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like,
Cap.
Exactly. He's like, no, I don't believe in it because if fate was really fate,
we would be together.
But really, he started living his life with the same freedom that Summer met him living in her life.
Exactly.
And I think that's really the reason that I'm not mad at Summer.
Yeah.
The best place to be in life, especially when you're single, is when no one needs to complete you for you to be happy.
Because it's a joint. People don't get that.
Exactly.
It's a joining of things.
Exactly.
It's not
That's
a completion.
what they said at the very beginning of the movie.
Exactly.
They said Tom is a man that believes he won't be complete until he meets the love of his life.
Exactly. And she was just like, no, I'm complete now. And even if I grow my hair out and it takes 3 years, I'm still going to be complete even if I cut this hair off.
Yeah.
And when I personally realized that, my life got better.
Yes.
Because I wasn't looking for someone to add something that I didn't have to my life. I had everything in my life.
Yes,
I had everything in my life. And it's just like, even now, I always think about the things that were important to me then and the things that are important to me now.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, if I could pay my bills and save, I was straight, bro. I didn't need anything else.
It's important, and I think a lot of people don't get this, and a lot of single people don't understand this, of course, but it's important. When you go through that process, right, when you start to have these realizations that you don't need someone else to complete you, you or more specifically, I guess, you don't need someone else to be happy, because you have to share happiness you can't give happiness. You have to like take yourself out the game and work on yourself. People still continuously date, or they'll be inside of these situationships, relationships type of deals, and they'll be like, oh man, like I see these wrong things happening in my life, but I'm gonna still push through it. And I see it a lot, ironically, on Facebook. So if you're on my Facebook page and you do these types of things, I'm watching you. And I'm noticing what you post, and it's weird sometimes that you're like, I relish in this life in this lifestyle where nothing is actually working out. It's because it's damaging.
Negative.
It's damaging, and it's not. I can see that it's not fun for them, and it's just it hurts me to see that, and I would love for them. All of them to like listen to the podcast and not learn, because I don't think I'm learning too. This whole thing's a learning experience for everyone that's here. Yeah. But I want them to at least take something away from the process. Yeah.
The thing that I was gonna say to finish my previous thought is that I said that if I had enough money to pay my bills and save, I was happy, right? That still is important to me and makes me happy. Yeah. Even though I'm married. But it's because I didn't need you to teach me what was important to me. I knew what was important to me, and then that's how we can have a dynamic. What are some things that were important to you before that are still important to you now?
Honesty.
That's such...
I don't have a lot.
Sheesh. Like art? Writing?
That wasn't that important to me. Writing maybe was, but I wasn't practicing it.
Wow.
That's the thing. Like, you're talking about things that you can do that make you happy. Yeah. I was depressed, Sasha. Yeah. I was very sad all the time. I didn't really do anything. I just needed a safe space. And as a friend, when you came into my life, you helped me create a safe space. Yeah. And as our relationship progressed, that's when I started to be like, oh, I need to make sure that I'm good so that when Sasha asks something of me, I'm able to provide it. And in me developing myself in order to be a good partner for you, that's when I started to get happy again.
Wow. Remember we spoke about that before? I don't know if we spoke about it on the podcast, but we were talking and we were like, if you're not a good version of yourself, you can't help people. Yeah. Like, you got to be a certain level of okay with yourself in order to provide really good help. Yeah. In the beginning of the movie, did she look depressed when she showed up at that job?
No.
Did he look depressed when she showed up?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's how the manic pixie dream girl works, but go ahead.
But what I'm saying is, he was in a place where he did not like his life. Yes. And when he met her, I think a lot of the reason that he put a lot of stock into being with her,
because he wanted to get pulled out.
He thought that she would be the catalyst to his life getting better.
And we had that discussion in the kitchen, right? When we were talking about the character trope that she kind of plays into, which is the manic pixie dream girl.
Look it up.
They, in real life too, they have a tendency to like being like kind of fawned over, right? And in opposition, the men that they find to fawn over them needs to kind of be pulled out of their boredom, the drabness of everything, the life that they're living that's kind of whack, right? It's boring.
But those men forget that they're human. Forget that the girl they think they're in love with is a human being.
Like a deity.
Yes.
You will never get that out of me.
Same. I mean, I used to be really like attracted and enamored by girls like that. I loved women that were like living on the outskirts of society. I love
against the grain.
Yeah, I love women that go against the grain, dye your hair, bro. I love the artsy fartsy. I mean, I'm not disrespecting. Sorry about that. I love the artistic side of people, and I love people who can live in that realm, because I myself wanted to live in that realm, and I was just like, well, I need to pay my rent. Yeah. And I noticed that, like, what kind of changed my mind about
you
that?
Say they broke.
Don't expose me. Don't expose me. Nah, I'm not saying they're broke. I'm just saying, like, I was at a point in my life where it was grind time.
Yeah, you want that salary money.
I was like, yo, I want to help my family, and I learned how to let all that go, and I learned how to help my family in other ways, and I've learned, especially from Silver Linings Playbook, it's another movie that helped me a lot with this understanding, is that I was a conformist. I wasn't somebody that was being responsible. I was somebody that was doing what society is telling me to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not living the dreams, and I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And it's unfair for both parties to partake in a relationship like that. Because if I'm a conformist, I'm trying to do everything in my power to basically pull her the other direction.
Correct.
I'm essentially not trying to get pulled out of my life.
Yeah.
I'm holding her back.
Exactly. But you admire the way that she lives.
Yeah.
But you can't actually do it because it'll cost you something that you don't want to give up.
Many broken hearts.
And then eventually you will resent the fact that she gets to live the way that she does, and you feel like you have to live the way that you do.
Yeah.
When in actuality, she just made the choice to live the way that she lives, and you made the choice to live the way that you live.
And I had to take myself out of the game. I had to stop dating.
Yeah.
And I had to go, I don't like my job. I had to go, I miss doing this type of thing. I have ideas I want to do. I don't like this city that much. I love this city. It's where I was birthed. I have all of my greatest memories here.
You love the people, but not the culture.
I think that
I'm asking, I'm not saying.
Oh, I love this. I love the city on both sides of that. The culture and the people.
You like the artsy fartsy girls that fart on you? Hey, man, it's okay if that's what you're into, bro.
Bro, I want to just buy some scissors and cut the whole monitor, bro. That was ridiculous. What are you getting at? But no,
People are into that. They like fart play.
I don't partake.
Barry just likes. Never mind.
What does Barry like, Malya?
Never mind.
No, say it.
Cayenne Malya.
Say it.
Say it.
You might have to cut it.
We grown.
Okay. Barry just likes vaginas that work.
Oh, I might have to cut it.
What is it, a scientific term? Your mom gonna be listening to this like, excuse me. Bring me this. She wants me.
So I stopped dating for a while, guys. I took myself out of the game, and I was like, yo, I need to really work on myself. And I got to that place, and it was incredible. I'm living a much better life. It helps a lot. And when I do re-enter the dating world, it'll be fun. But I'm not doing that now because of the whole move that I'm going to be partaking in, most likely.
I have hope for you, Barry.
You have hope for me?
I do.
I think that
I'm not a hopeless romantic. I don't care about love at all.
I can't.
Yes, you do.
I care about love, but I'm not like I'm happy by myself.
Yeah, you're not like me.
Malya can call out stuff about you that's very interesting that I cannot call out about you. It's very interesting.
It's that introvert.
Same for me. Yeah. You don't think you'll be happy by yourself?
Oh no, I could definitely be happy by myself, but I don't know how far I would get into that because I was just starting to get into that lifestyle before we became friends.
I think that I was talking to all right, let me tell you about this hilarious story, right? I was working with this guy for like security purposes. We're gonna call him Micah Johnson, okay?
Is his name Mike Johnson? Sasha, come on with better suit on him, my G. What are you doing? I have to cut this out. Yo, what are you doing? It doesn't. Yo.
Yo, I was like, he'll never catch me. Oh my God!
Are you the first letter, last name, password type of guy?
Listen, I never liked this guy. I never liked this guy, and I was like, bro, if I ever get a chance to talk about this, I want to make sure that I get as many people to just know exactly what I'm saying. You know? But anyway, so I'm at my job. This guy, he's a security guard. And mind you, just to give you a perspective, we all had to do like a training where we run these laps, you know, we do these physical things or whatever, because we were basically public safety officers at the time, but we were trying to go into the police academy, right? This guy had to put his measurements on a paper. We all had to put our measurements on a paper. This guy was 5'9", 270 pounds, okay? So,
Star athlete.
This guy was huge. So, we're having this argument, right? Mind you, this guy's not a doctor, not an engineer, lawyer, not in like a high-paying job. Mm-hmm. He's a public safety officer at an HBCU. This guy says men have all the power, right, in relationships.
Cap.
So I said, bro, I can tell by the way that you're talking right now that you speak to women that are a lot younger than you. And he got upset. But the only other woman that was there that was older said I would never date a guy like you. So then I said, when a woman gets to a place where she decides I'm no longer going to deal with guys, and she starts saying, I'm just going to be happy and that's going to be it. Bro, there is nothing that you can do to pull her out of that unless she decides, I'm going to let him pull me out of this. If she decides that she's good on her own and that's all she's concerned about, it's over. It's over for anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this guy was trying to convince me otherwise or whatever, and eventually I got to the point where I was, thank goodness there was this woman that I could use as an example. I'm like, this woman, particular woman I was talking about, she's very successful. She drives the car, she was driving like a Mercedes. She dressed in how she always looked very professional. She was in shape, fit, ate right. She said she takes herself on a date twice a month. She buys candles, she does bubble baths, self-care Saturdays, everything, right?
Yeah.
I was like, the affection that she needs from other people, she can get from her friend group. Mm-hmm. And the physical aspect that she desires, she could probably get from some random dude. And then just leave him alone after she's done getting what she wants, or use a vibrator or whatever. The fact of the matter is, as a man, there is stuff in your life that I think you can only get from a woman.
Yeah.
But there's very little in a woman's life that she can only get from a man. And when a woman decides that she's no longer going to pursue anything from a dude, she becomes almost like a higher being than normal people. And I'm trying to explain it to this guy, and he never really understood it, but everyone else that was there agreed with me. So when Malya's like, she didn't get a chance to see how far she would get, in my mind, knowing Malya and how determined she can be, I think you would literally you would become that just unattainable, almost, you know what I'm saying, essence of woman. You know what I mean? Just smelling like a tea tree oil all the time.
Oh, gosh.
I feel I could just see it, and yeah, that's just, maybe I'm biased because I really think highly of you, but I don't think that if I didn't act right immediately after that, the whole thing happened and started the process of like growing close to you, and you were just at a headspace where you were willing, you know what I'm saying, to try one more time, I feel like it would be over.
Really?
I don't think you would be in here having this conversation with me right now.
It's interesting that he used the word power, because I think that's like a mistake a little bit. I think the word should be respect.
Women have all the respect in a relationship?
No. Excuse me. people you need to respect each other in relationships. I can't even say no. The power is 50-50. That's not something that I think is. Power
statement. Is a weird word.
Yeah, I think what he meant to say. Well, he meant what he
should have said.
Yeah, he meant what he said. What he should have said is, in a relationship, it takes an equal amount of respect for it to be healthy.
I agree.
But he was on some.
Not be looking for power in everything.
That's
like insecure men look for power in everything. Like I would say some insecure men look for power in everything, and then other insecure men did what Tom did.
And both are wrong, but power is more interesting because when you seek power, people who seek power should not have power at all.
Psycho,
you should not have power. If you're seeking power, and this goes far beyond.
Yeah, it's weird that guy was trying to be a cop too.
If you're trying to be a cop, a president, politician,
right?
If you are like someone who's like, I don't want to make things better, would be fun if I had this much power.
Yeah.
Do not enter that realm. Seek therapy. Wholeheartedly, I'm not being funny. Like I'm not. It's not a joke.
I know you're not being funny.
Yeah.
And then, remember Littlefinger from Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Who could have told him, "Hey, I see what you're doing. Stop." But I don't listen.
And they found out who he was and they cut his throat. Look at that.
You see what I'm saying?
Doesn't end fun.
It's just, I don't know. But right to the topic at hand, what are your closing remarks about the movie, Malya? What are your final say about why do you look like that?
Because I've had a thought this whole time and I didn't know when I was going to get to say it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You can just interject. I'm sorry.
Well, it really had nothing to do with where the conversation had gone.
Always interject.
Yeah.
That's one thing we're trying to work on.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually... Well, it's really just an analogy I came up for unchecked delusion on both sides of the spectrum. And I'm nervous to say it because I don't know if Barry will want to keep this in the podcast.
Babe, it's okay. That's what post-editing is for.
Okay. Unchecked delusion on both sides is like good vagina.
What? I'm gonna keep it. But I'm so interested now. I'm invested to your thoughts.
Piqued my interest.
It's gripping.
yo.
American comedian.
What?
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
It's a young gripper.
It runs in the Diembois family. I'm gonna have to cut this. Sorry.
It's gripping, you know? And on one side, you have someone who is in it just for sex. And on the other side, you have someone's that's like, I'm not going to let you go. So you hold on. The delusion holds on until both people get what they want. And then you have kids you don't want.
Yeah. That's
very accurate.
That's insane. You gotta animate this. This I want to see how you animate this one, bro.
Oh.
That's the thought that's been on my mind.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Also, Barry, you need to put a spoiler alert on this in case anybody has not watched this movie from the early 2000s.
That's correct.
Oh, I'm not putting no spoiler alert. You better watch this movie. It's been out since I was in high school. I'm almost 30. Yeah, y'all better have watched this movie, or just don't.
It's a good movie though.
How's it feel to be almost 30?
Because you're almost 30. Well, you say almost 30, but obviously that's not like real.
I'm 27.
You're not like 29 and a half. You know what I'm saying? So like when you say almost 30, what are you thinking of? Because a lot of people feel older than they actually are.
It's actually, I think it's because of the type of personality that I have. I love it.
Okay.
Because you have the confidence that comes with understanding life a little bit, and then you still have the life in you. You have the energy, so it's like
you're not decrepit yet.
And then I'm not broke all the time.
Yeah.
But then like I still love having fun and spending money on stupid stuff.
Freedom.
Yeah, I love freedom, and I have the luxury, and I make the decisions to not have children or to not be married right now, and I can do so much. Yeah. But also, like, you know, I can just, like my family and I spoke earlier, I can drop everything on a dime and just move.
Yeah.
Or I can go on vacation.
No tethers.
I have nothing. But I have everything in that nothingness.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
I just want to say I can't wait to have kids and then dump them on Barry.
I don't know if my kid's gonna be safe in that.
I think they will be.
Hey, man.
You're playing with chopsticks right now.
I didn't use these chopsticks on food.
Our kids might have adventures that they're going to tell, but they'll be safe.
What did you pick up with those chopsticks?
Just, stuff. Nothing.
I'm trusting with my kids.
Why?
What if he be touching his pee-pee with those chopsticks?
Oh my god!
What do you think? I have like a... No, never mind.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Thank God we don't have a camera. Can't help weird motion.
Hey, bro. Hey.
What are you guys?
Cut this shit down.
What are you guys' ending thoughts on the movie? Like, it's a good movie, but
I'll go first.
Be a simp.
Oh my gosh.
Understand. All right, I'm gonna speak from two sides. On Summer's End, if you meet someone that is struggling with certain parts of themselves, even if you're saying certain things to them, just understand that it's emotionally damaging to play Jenga with people's emotionally. It's damaging to do certain things to people who aren't necessarily emotionally mature. Even though she, again, I'm gonna reiterate, she did not lie. She spoke her entire truth, but it's still very damaging to people to kind of, I don't want to say lead them on, but I want to use that as a placeholder. It's damaging to lead them on. But the biggest and the most important part of this movie is do not ignore 100% truth because you want a specific thing to go a specific way. It is not fair to the other person in the friendship, and I'm going to say friendship, and it's not fair to you as your own person because you don't have enough self-respect to accept no. No means no. So when somebody says, I do not want to be in a relationship with you, or I do not want to interact with you, you have to accept that, especially men. That's something that we need to teach our boys earlier. Because we don't. And that's how you get terrible interactions. What about you, Malya?
I said my piece.
What about you, Sasha?
You just big on the vagina thing?
Yes.
I think you guys both touched on good points. Pretty much what you said. The only thing that I would add on is I know that I am not good at making Russian food.
Yes.
I will never tell someone that is Russian that I can cook for them. I don't know Russian. I don't know Russian food. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Only thing that's Russian about me is my name. Right?
Yeah.
If someone said, would you like to join this competition where we're seeing who's going to be the best at cooking Russian food? I would say,